This broadcast is brought to you by Colby Brooks with Century 21 Right Pace Real Estate and buyfrombrooks.com. Let Colby Brooks handle all of your real estate needs. It's March 16th, 2020. Thanks for joining us on NEA Report. Coronavirus coverage continues with the latest numbers in Arkansas today, including several cases in the fringe area of northeast Arkansas. We're talking about in Cleburne County, not quite in the heart of NEA, but right there on the fringe of it. So we'll talk about those next. We'll also take you inside of a local Walmart. For those of you who've not been grocery shopping, it looks a little bit different, but if all you've seen are the photos being posted online, you might have a different idea about what it actually looks like inside. It's not as bad as some people have said, but there are a few aisles that are barren, so we'll show you those aisles, maybe what you need to get and what you don't need so much next, and our curfews next. A major Arkansas city, Little Rock, setting a nightly curfew today. Could Jonesboro be looking at something similar? We'll talk about that next on NEA Report.
Stan Morris reporting.
We begin today's broadcast with a look at the latest number from the Arkansas Department of Health, which says that there are 22 confirmed cases of COVID-19, the coronavirus strain that's getting all of the attention. No, not the only coronavirus strain, but the one in the news today. That is the number of confirmed cases in Arkansas as of this broadcast right now. Of course, that's going to change. That's going to go up or down at some point or another, but the point is we're trying to tell you what it looks like as of Monday afternoon, March 16th. Persons under investigation number is at 14 right now. Also, a couple of other numbers to report. The people being monitored number is at 258. That means 258 people are being looked at closely with daily check-ins and guidance because of some kind of identified risk from the Arkansas Department of Health. Something they did, a place they traveled, a person they were around, increased their risk, so they're daily checking in. But the past negative persons under investigation number, the final number there on the screen, 132. That means the PUI number, the 14 number, well, they have had a lot of those tested. And a lot of them, overwhelmingly most of them, have come back showing negative status for the coronavirus. So what does this mean? Just in a quick sense, it means that there have been a lot more tests that showed up negative than positive. Of course, we knew that would happen. Also, there have been tests in northeast Arkansas too. Randolph, Clay, Lawrence, Craighead, Mississippi, Independence, White, and Cleburne counties have all had tests for the coronavirus that showed up negative. As of today, 2 of the tests that showed up in northeast Arkansas, the only 2 that have showed up in northeast Arkansas, were in Cleburne County. Now, those are the only 2 confirmed cases we have heard of in NEA. And that's fringe NEA, too, to point out. That's adjacent to White and Faulkner County. You know, it's close to probably closer to central Arkansas in a lot of people's eyes. Nonetheless, it's worth pointing out, yes, it is an additional set of cases of the coronavirus, and they did move northeast. So, you know, we're going to still be watching this very closely because it's possible, although we don't know yet what will happen, it's possible we will see cases here, and we have to prepare for that, which is being done across the state of Arkansas. Preparation is happening right now. In Little Rock, a curfew was declared, midnight to 5 a.m. That's going to start Wednesday. It's not clear what the punishment is for folks who violate that curfew, but according to a statement for the mayor, it's going to be enforced by officers who are going to be out reminding people that there is a nightly curfew. He did not specify what would happen if people are violating those laws. Officers will not stop anybody in their cars traveling at those times unless there's some type of traffic law violation. This is basically, and the term was proactively remind. Police will proactively remind people in Little Rock, hey, you're not supposed to be out past midnight starting on Wednesday. You got to ask yourself, of course, is that going to be a possibility for Jonesboro? And at this time, the answer to that is no, but it's not being totally ruled out. It's just not at this time. That's the communication director, Bill Campbell's statement today when we asked him if this was something that Jonesboro might be considering as well. But then, again, Some proactive steps that are being taken in certain cities, maybe steps that are taken a little bit further down the road in others, or maybe not at all. The hope is a lot of this is just going to be proactive. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second with a graph that'll actually maybe give you an idea of why all of these precautions are being taken. But first, let's get through the headlines. In Arkansas, schools shutting down on Tuesday. Many closed the doors today. We first reported that here in the state, actually, on NEA Report. Yesterday, it was ordered by the governor. Now, public meetings in Northeast Arkansas are going to be limited. Public gatherings, as in government public gatherings, limited to less than 50. That's what that little sign means, less than. At least that's what my math teacher, Miss Bailey, taught me. Also, Tuesday's city council meeting is going to be canceled. And the mayor is encouraging social distancing. That's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about a little bit more here. Because this is something I don't think, and the mayor has said himself, he does not think enough people are taking seriously. Quote, "As your mayor, I'm concerned that Jonesboro residents are not taking the advice of social distancing seriously enough." In a couple of moments, we'll show you one of the locations that we ventured out to today for partially news reasons. And in that interaction, that short time in the public, I can tell you there were people standing less than a foot away from me, getting right up on me. I've always thought that was strange. I've always thought that was weird that people do that. But especially now, you're literally jeopardizing other people's health. Not necessarily mine. I should be healthy enough to get through this if I catch it. We're talking about people that I may come in contact with, or others could come in contact with too. The idea of social distancing is not just to protect the people that are at risk. It's to protect people from spreading this thing. Look at this graphic. Let me show you this. It's called flattening the curve. I got this off of Wikipedia, right? You can see there, that's the first way, let's say we went about this where we weren't taking it very seriously. It's whatever. It's just like the cold or a flu. Have you heard that before? Well, that approach, that could still get us through this. You're just going to see a lot more cases than you would otherwise. But if we take appropriate steps and precautions, like washing your hands, staying at home when you're sick, not touching your face, the hope is, the theory is, and you go with this stuff when you're dealing with medicine and science and experts that are way smarter than me, the hope is it will flatten the curve. And that's what it looks like. You can see on the left the curve before. You can see on the right, now colored in with the beige color, yellow color there, you can see what the hope is that will be done. Because there is a capacity for our healthcare system. And once we pass that, or get past that, or over that, it's going to be incredibly difficult to get healthcare service. Further out than that, people who need healthcare service, especially for critical services, they may not be able to get it in as timely a fashion as they need. And so, yeah, it may not be the 20-year-old. It may not be the 30-year-old. But what if it's your grandma or grandpa? What if it's somebody that you grew up around that's older now? What if it's somebody that maybe they're not older, but they're just in poorer health? They're at-risk health. Children are generally seen to be having a better time against this than was previously thought they would. But still, some children have immune diseases or disorders. Do you really want to put them at risk because you don't want to ever take anything seriously and you just want to brush everything off and basically be cynical? There are a lot of cynics in the comments right now on social media. Ignore them. This is a time for preparation and for a cause of concern, not panic, not freaking out, not worrying. Just taking the proper steps to keep our species from looking at a serious death situation. Italy is reporting deaths at an astronomical rate compared to where they were before. They had almost, I think it was yesterday, 370 deaths or something to that degree. That's a nation with modern healthcare systems like ours. Maybe even better. We don't want to risk this. If it ends up being nothing bad or nothing serious, great. But it doesn't mean the people that said that all along were right. It means that the steps that were taken to get us there helped. And we would all rather be precautionary and take extra steps and find out we didn't need them than get 3 or 4 months into this thing and realize it's killing 3, 2, 4% of the population that catches it. I've told you before, and every time I say it, people argue with me about the math. Not that I'm the best at math, but the flu kills at a 0.1% rate. This virus is shown right now to be around 2%. That's 20 times more than 0.1. 0.1 times 20 is 2. Pull your little calculator out and do it on there if you don't believe me. You don't want to get a situation where if the flu is killing as many people as it is at 0.1%, something comes along and is 20 times worse. And oh, by the way, we don't have a vaccine for it. There's a reason these nursing homes are closing. There's a reason that the health professional experts are telling us to watch this and be careful. It's because they know what they're talking about. We have to listen to the smart people in society, especially during times like this. The alternative is we cannot listen and naturally select ourselves into extinction. And I don't think anybody here wants that. I also want to let you know, before I jump ahead to the next story, there was, and you've seen it on the screen for a short time now, there was breaking news a bit as we went on the air. President Trump releasing guidelines telling folks across the nation, this is not mandatory, but this is a suggestion from the president, to avoid social gatherings larger than 10 people for at least the next 15 days to slow the spread of the novel coronavirus. Also, the president issuing advice to Americans, stop eating and drinking at bars. Stop eating and drinking at restaurants or going out to the food court. End the shopping trips. Don't go to the mall for fun. This is not a snow day, as somebody with the city told me today. This is a serious situation. So this was breaking just a short time ago. The president issuing a guidance to avoid groups larger than 10. It's from the president of the United States. And again, this is all designed to hopefully help curb the spread, to flatten the curve of the coronavirus. Coverage continues now. So I know a lot of folks are staying home right now, which is a great choice. It's a good decision to make right now, the smart ones among us, of course. But we want to give you a little bit of an idea of what it looks like if you do decide to go grocery shopping. Because a lot of folks are posting those photos that say, hey, nothing is left, everything's gone. And that's really not true at all. That may be actually making some of the panic worse. So let's show you the reality of what's happening. Yes, there are a lot of items, there are actually some aisles even, that are completely gone. But as far as the overwhelming majority of stuff at grocery stores in Jonesboro and across northeast Arkansas, you're still going to be able to find essentials. You just might not be able to get the exact flavor you wanted, right? It's not the end of the world, but that probably feels like it to a lot of people used to the luxurious life that we have had in America for quite some time. So this is Walmart on Parker Road in Jonesboro, and just thought we would show you the reality of what it looked like today, Monday afternoon. The packaged deli aisle, you can see a lot of empty spaces there, but quite a few more are still packed with items. A lot of meats still out in the refrigerated area and in the freezers too. The meat aisle was not stripped clean. It had probably 50% capacity, maybe a little bit less. Man, the grocery stockers were working overtime today, and I could tell they were working hard. You could tell that they've also had some serious hard work for the past several days, and a couple of them even told me that. In the dog food aisle, that was one of the aisles that was almost stripped clean. It's kind of a surprise there too, but nonetheless, I hope you've got dog food, at least at the Walmart on Parker Road, not a lot left. Snacks were, of course, being raided a little bit too, but not as much. There was still plenty to go around for everybody. Like I said, the worst thing you were going to run into in relation to that aisle, probably just not being able to find your favorite flavor or your favorite choice, right? But it's a different story if you're looking for toilet paper. That's the toilet paper aisle today, this afternoon, Walmart on Parker Road in Jonesboro. There was not one ply of toilet paper left on the shelves. Same story, by the way, for paper towels. The very next aisle over was totally bare. There's some plastic plates up there you can see, some hefty plastic plates. No paper towels anywhere to be found in the store. No toilet paper either. Those do appear to be in short supply out there. But it may just be because people have stocked up on it in a ridiculous way. And some people, as a New York Times story pointed out, have stocked up on supplies to the point that they were planning on price gouging, and now they can't because there have been restrictions put in. Another area you would have found a shortage of items in would be on a hand soap aisle. This is a very small shelf, almost one that you would have to look for out in the well, it's near the pharmacy area. There were 3 bottles of hand soap left, or maybe 4. I can't tell if that's 2. Anyway, there were barely any left. The shelf was totally empty for hand soaps. But if you're just looking for food or items like, say, for instance, butter, orange juice, cream cheese, things of that nature, milk, plenty of that stuff left to go around. You might have to pick a brand that you're not used to, but my goodness, we're still living in the, there's people in the third world country that don't have this kind of luxury. And so it's hard to say that this is something to be concerned about or even panicked about. Finally, it did look like laundry detergent had sold quite well this week. Did not appear to be very many, jugs, I guess. What are those called? Jugs? Bottles of laundry detergent. Did not appear to be a lot of those left, but there was still a few, right? You can still see some of the more premium brands there. So, I mean, it was there. There was mostly stuff, as I said, that was just lower in stock, but some stuff that was totally out of stock. The notable one being toilet paper and paper towels. So if you've got those, good. If you don't have them, buy enough for the next week or two, but don't go crazy and stock up for 6 months worth, because that keeps others from being able to meet their needs within the next immediate few days. And we may be looking at a couple of months that we need to get ready for. But the thing is, our supply chains are not broken down. They're still moving. They're still functioning as normally. So that means all of these empty shelves and all of the shelves that are still halfway empty and the shelves that are mostly still full, they're going to be filled back up fairly soon. That's what all of the indicators are. Walmart has changed their hours of operation to where that they're not going to be operating at night 24/7. They're going to have regular hours during the day. They're out there for people if you want to see the exact ones. But the point is they're giving their workers time to restock things because, yes, it's a little bit wild right now. Some stores have even offered an option for their elderly customers or more at-risk customers to shop 1 hour before everyone else to avoid the rush, the difficulty. Gotta say, when I was grocery shopping today, when I was doing this report today at Walmart on Parker Road, I did notice one person, maybe more than one, just coughing their lung up in the store, right? Don't go out into the public. Don't be that selfish person that goes into the public when you're hacking up a lung. Also, try to avoid standing so close to someone you can feel the heat of their breath. Give everybody 3 feet minimum. And maybe a little more, too. This social distancing thing, it's not just for people that aren't at risk. It's to help protect people that are at risk that you may be around later. It's got to be about more than ourselves in a situation like this. And hopefully, with enough of that practice and enough of the precautions, well, hopefully this thing will all blow over. Thanks for staying with us this afternoon on NEA Report. It's about 3:19 in Jonesboro and across northeast Arkansas. I want to thank all of you for being a part of our audience. If you think what we did was worth your time, a like, a share, or a subscribe helps us more than you might realize. It's a tremendous way for you just to help us out. Shows us that you appreciate it a little bit, too. Also, you can become a supporter for 99 cents a month, and we do extra broadcast every week for our supporters. This week, we have a very neat local celebrity television guest. He's got his own TV series now, but he used to be on KIT. He's going to be on the show later this week, and we look forward to that. It'll be a little bit of fun, especially with all the stuff going on. Sometimes we like to make people smile in our supporter section. Let's look at the chat. I've seen a couple of questions from one person. Stan, there's people each and every day that cough and sneeze, etc. Slap my head, don't make sense. Oh, well, yeah, you're right. I guess the whole world is wrong, and you were correct. I'll just tell the president to cancel the order he issued today and that they need to talk to you about this stuff from now on. No, so you're not understanding what's happening here. And all of the information is out there. So if you want to understand it, it is available for you. It's not on somebody else to try to explain it or think for you, just to be frank about it. This is a type of disease that there is no vaccination for. It is unknown what it causes or may lead to. And let me be frank about this. I don't care, personally. I just listen to what the health experts and the medical experts say, because the thing about becoming a reporter is you learn to listen to people that are smarter than you and correct yourself when you're wrong. It's not something that we are taking personal, great moments for in being right. We don't care. It's up to the health experts and the governor and all the doctors that are in charge of the state health department and the CDC. When all of them tell us we need to be concerned about it, then that's usually when we listen. This is something that has a higher death rate than the flu significantly. There's no vaccine, and we don't know what to expect. It's also not thought right now to be seasonal. So there's a lot of reasons. If you're looking for real reasons, if you're just looking to make a comment that gets likes, I'm sure that you'll do it. But the information is out there. There's very, very little excuse for somebody to not get it at this point. I'm sure plenty still won't, and plenty will always be cynical and argumentative. But look, nobody's saying the world is ending. What people are saying is we need to be careful to avoid unnecessary deaths. We can get through this without having as many deaths as some countries have seen percentage-wise, but that doesn't happen if we don't take the appropriate steps. So we're keeping everybody up to date with this stuff for the next several days as the news continues. It's obviously surrounding this, and it's hard for us to fathom it not, at least for several days. We'll definitely, keep looking at the latest information for the government. We'll ask them questions. We're always questioning ourselves here, too. That's the point of this all. But it's the time for cynicism is over. It is time to at least approach this with a seriousness of, okay, there's got to be a reason why all of these brilliant people that have spent their entire lives in medicine are concerned, right? They're going to know more about it. Sort of like if you drive down to the auto mechanic shop and they tell you, they walk out of the back and they are sweating and they are freaking out and they say, buddy, your car is about to explode, right? Are you going to argue with them and tell them, nah, it's never exploded before? No, you're probably going to listen to it, unless you want your car to blow up, in which case you might. But we have to listen to the medical experts. We have to listen to the smart people and the people that are in charge of this stuff, the people that have spent their whole life preparing for this kind of situation, and to hopefully avoid it from being a serious one at that. I guess it's already serious, so maybe I'm using the wrong term there. Maybe I should use harsher terms, but I'm trying to avoid that because I know a lot of people they're not happy right now. They think that the press is at fault for the coverage in this. The press is not at fault for this. The press does not say one thing unless we're attributing it to someone else. So if you're mad at the press, look at who we're saying according to. That's who you really should be mad at. Otherwise, you're just mad at us for keeping you informed. And that doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's see. A question in chat about daycares. Let me answer that rather. Keep us up to date on daycares. Schools being out for one thing, but daycares is harder. Good question. And since daycares do not fall under, at least I don't believe, the Arkansas Department of Education, I don't think they're included in that mandate. Well, I know they weren't because the government said they weren't. Governor said they weren't yesterday. But daycare owners are being asked to look at the situation and make smart choices. And so for now, I believe it's being left up to them. It's very hard for the government, by the way, to order a business to close its doors. That's not exactly something that is traditionally gifted to the executive branch in a capitalistic society. So when you're seeing situations like in Little Rock, not here, in Little Rock, there's a curfew that's going to be beginning on Wednesday. It's not really sure what they're going to do. Are they going to charge people with a crime for staying out past that? Don't know. It's in essence, it's just a hard approach of trying to get people out of the city streets that they're taking. They're doing their best to try to discourage folks from, continuing to go out or party or whatever it may be. I want to let you know that downtown Jonesboro issued a statement saying that they care about your health and the health of the community. They're taking diligent measures, extensive measures to provide a safe, clean, welcoming environment for customers. But it says that COVID-19 is a public health crisis, posing incredibly difficult financial challenges to downtown stores. They're encouraging everybody to follow guidelines of health officials while also maybe doing what they can to help out a little bit if they keep supporting businesses they would normally. Buy a gift card, shop online, order takeout. For example, DoorDash or Bite Squad. Those are a couple of services that you might use. You can get a meal from Skinny J's on Main Street without ever leaving your front doorstep, which is pretty cool. By the way, I just gave a free ad to Skinny J's. Or any other nice place to eat in Jonesboro or Northeast Arkansas that has a qualification delivery service like the one that I mentioned. You can tip a little extra too. But if you have reservations, they're asking folks, please let them know that you're planning on canceling them, since that could mean staff gets to go home early that wouldn't otherwise, or something else. Right? So it's a difficult time for America. It's a unique time. I bet you never had a day like this in your life. To me, I only remember this type of feeling, I'll be honest, back on 9/11. This is a very similar feeling to that. It's a national level crisis. But this is the kind of thing, if we're smart, if we're thoughtful, if we're compassionate toward each other, we can make it through on a much stronger way and on a much stronger level than when we came into it. And so I hope that we do that. I hope that everybody out there listening and watching this stays safe. I care about all of you very much as my audience. You do mean a great deal to me. And thank you for being a liker or a follower on NEA Report. 36,000 as of today. Pretty cool stuff. It is a very stressful time. And as Destiny brought up, it's a difficult time for everyone. Especially, I'm just going to say this, especially for people that have a tough time understanding things as well as some of the others. I feel especially bad, and I'm trying to go out of my way to explain things. Show a little bit of extra patience with folks, maybe older folks or people that aren't just keeping up with stuff as much. Maybe that patience and you helping take a moment of explaining to them, maybe that saves lives. Maybe it doesn't, but you just have a chance to be nice to somebody. It's worth it. Trust me. I've gone the other way and been mean before. Not as fun. Especially when you're thinking about it at night, going to bed. It's more fun to be nice. So some good comments in chat. One more comment, and then I'll finish up here. Should non-essential employees stay home, said Joanna. It depends on the workplace that they're working in. And I'm not a medical expert, right? So this is going to be out of character for me to give any advice. I'm just going to echo what I'm hearing from the experts. But at the moment, it probably is best to avoid gatherings of larger than 10 people. That was from the President of the United States a short time ago, a guideline that was issued on the federal level, right? So if that's situation where your office has more than 10 people, maybe so. Yes, maybe you need to look at a situation where you let folks work from home if they can. I think the most important thing right now, yes, every time a large group of people get together, there is going to be that potential for the contagion to spread. But I think what could possibly help even more is if somebody is sick, if they feel sick, whatever, let them call in and don't give them a hard time about it. And maybe, just maybe, don't penalize them for it either. Sick days are obviously stuff that you don't want people abusing, but guess what? We expect a lot out of our productivity, out of our workers in America. We expect so much that, in fact, we probably step on their backs a little bit sometimes, maybe their faces. If you give people the opportunity to call in sick, especially during a time like right now, it could seriously help. It's not the slackers that you got to worry about. It's the people that really do want to come to work even when they're sick. Those folks are the ones that need to stay home. So, as far as non-essential workers going to work, I can't make that call, but I would listen to what the government officials are saying. It's a good question, and that's something every business owner is going to have to address for themselves. So thank you, everybody, for joining us on NEA Report. Appreciate all of you for liking, sharing, subscribing. I already gave you the shill job on the supporter thing, but hey, become a supporter. 99 cents really means a whole lot to us. Wow, that was loud. Sorry. I am Stan Morris reporting, and you're up to date on NEA Report. I'll be back if there's breaking news tonight. If stuff gets crazy, we will break in. Until then, you're up to date.